Hello everybody and welcome back to the Freedom Adventure. Before we get started here, I just wanted to say thank you everybody. If you've been watching the videos along the way, I've recently had some growth in the channel and I couldn't have done it without you, so I just wanted to give you a heartfelt thank you because I really do appreciate what you're doing for me. Thank you very much. The Freedom Adventure is a channel where we slowly and one project at a time convert a decommissioned ambulance into a miniature Class C motorhome. So today what I've got is I just got an instant hot water heater in from Amazon probably about 2 weeks ago. I've been really excited to go ahead and get this thing open and take a quick look at it and just get an initial thought on what I think about it. But while I do that, I want to give you the opportunity to kind of check it out as well. The next project, of course, is going to be its installation, but that's on a separate video and that'll be coming soon. So if you're interested, keep an eye open for that. For right now, I just want to go ahead and do the unboxing, take a look at it and see if this is actually a good deal. See if I actually got my money's worth on this thing, because it wasn't the most expensive and it certainly wasn't the least expensive. It's kind of a mid-grade. However, I do feel like I got a pretty good deal on it because what I had myself braced for the purchase price was substantially higher than what this one came in at. So stick around, check it out with me, see what you think. Okay, so here it is as it showed up on my doorstep. As you can see, guys, I haven't even had a chance to open this thing up. I hope it's in good shape because I want to say it's been sitting on my shop floor now for a couple of weeks. So we're going to go ahead and open it up, take it out of the box and just kind of see what's in it, what did it come with, what does it look like, and you know, is it everything I'd hoped for? We'll find that out. Okay, so the first thing we got here is just a foam pad with a bunch of stuff in the top of it. And, well, I'd kind of forgot about this, but when this was ordered, they're supposed to come with a actual shower head attachment, and it looks like that's what this is here. And sure enough, here it is, as promised. Can't say you're going to win any fashion shows with that thing, but I mean, it's definitely a shower head. Now the piping on this thing is, man, it's definitely more flexible than even like a rubber hose would be. So it's definitely going to be pretty versatile. Looks like you could pretty much wind that up, scrunch it up, and just shove it into the smallest of spaces. So that's pretty cool. All right, got our user manual, and given the fact I've never put one of these in, probably going to be using this. Not many projects I do, but probably going to be this one that I do. Got a key, got a bunch of screws, a rubber grommet, and we've got some wiring here. It looks like 2 bundles of wiring. Both of them have some sort of connector on the back. I'm assuming that these connectors go into the back of the unit. So what I'm looking at here is the unit itself, and I'm going to go ahead and put this on the ground in order to lift it out. This is certainly going to end up in disaster if I try it any other way. And I don't know how much this thing weighs, but it's definitely got some weight to it. All right. All right, so here's the unit as I took it out of the box. First impression, it's heavier than you think it's going to be. Looking at the back here, there's a few different plug-ins. There's one for the water intake, the water outlet, and also the propane inlet as well. I'll be looking at those in a little bit more depth with you. I'll show you what I've got here in just a second. But just at least first impressions, it looks pretty good. All right, this thing comes with some, I'm assuming it's just a protective tape that's on the front. And of course, when you take it off, it leaves a little gunky film. Man, I hate that stuff. All right. I'm going to go ahead and just take this off, see what we've got underneath of it. You actually twist this in order to unlock. And this is the inside of it. This is looks like it's got a power switch here, fuse that'll be accessible from the outside. It's got a what appears to be a ball valve right there, and this, actually one of the reasons I ordered this thing, is an exterior water outlet. So you can go ahead and turn this on, and that is what the shower plugs into. So if you're looking for the versatility of having an outdoor shower, this could be a great unit for you. It's pretty cool that it's got that water outlet right there on the front. It makes it that much easier to get to the point of having that outdoor shower. There's no mix valve here, but my understanding with this unit is you can go ahead and set the water temperature as hot or as cold as you want it to be. So basically all you do is you hook up your shower hose and your shower head to it, and whatever temperature that you set that at is what the water's going to be when it comes out. And at least in my opinion, that little feature right there adds a ton of value to a pretty inexpensive water heater. Because at least in my build, I'm looking forward to that. It's going to simplify things a little bit. Not to mention the fact that that little outlet right there comes directly off the water heater itself. It's coming right off the heater. You don't have to shoot it down a pipe that's already full of cold water. It's coming right out of it. So if you're outside and you need a quick warm rinse, say no more. This thing's got you covered. Something I do want to bring up here, and this is a little bit of a disappointment, and I'm kind of upset with CountryMod over it. I'm not willing to send it back. I can fix it. But I did pay $50 extra, and so instead of purchasing one of these that's white in color, it was supposed to come in black. And as you could see, not black. You could look at the handle there, it's black. You could look at the little bezel going around the exhaust port, that's black. Folks, this is gray. Again, I'm not sending it back, but if I'm going to be honest, it's a little bit upsetting that they would ship it like this. So just kind of beware that if you purchase a black one, it may not exactly be what you're going to get. Kind of a bad deal, CountryMod. Kind of a black eye on the look here, but overall, so far, still pretty impressed with the unit, but I did want to bring that up because that is kind of a big deal, at least it is with me. Before I went any further, I just wanted to kind of show you how this hooks up, and it's neat, so I wanted to throw it out there. Okay, the shower hose is hooked up both to the unit and the shower head itself. I'm going to guess this is probably about 5 feet long, which where this heater is going to be mounted on the camper, that's going to be more than adequate to do everything I need it to do. That's a great value. That's a great value for the money that you spend. The hose tucks away inside of the unit. You don't have to look somewhere else for the hose. It's right there. It connects super, super easy. And you know, if everything else on this works as it's designed, I'd have to say this would be one option that I would definitely choose this unit over another unit that didn't have that on there. Just had to go ahead and show you guys the back side of this unit because this is where all the action takes place. It's pretty basic. There's a water inlet, a water outlet. You can see from the cap, cold water goes in, hot water comes out. This right here is where you plug in your fuel source, which is of course propane. These two plug-ins up here, those have to be for the control panel, whatever controls this thing anyway. I didn't see that in the box. I'm going to have to go back through and make sure that's in there. But hey, like I said, it's a pretty simple setup. After rummaging through the plastic that it came with, and of course all the little baggies and whatnot, I did locate the control panel, and that is obviously one of these that connect up here. So everything you tell it to do, it's going to tell it to do it through one of these two ports. Not sure which one just yet. This one is just a 2-plug outlet, so that's this one it looks like, and it's got a red and a black. I could only guess that's just for your power and for your ground. That being said, I did notice here it looks like this is about a 1/2 inch outlet for the gas supply, and that's fine. One thing it did not come with was some sort of adapter in order to go ahead and adapt this 1/2 inch down to like a, I think what's typical is a 3/8 inch connection on a propane line. And as far as this goes, I'm just going to have to order or go to Lowe's and find some sort of adapter. Before moving forward, I just had to go ahead and break out the installation manual here because I just needed to get it in my head what size fittings I was going to need for this. And in the manual, there's a specifications page that kind of tells you everything you need to know. I wish this would have been available online. That way I could have kind of gotten on this and ordered the stuff I was going to need ahead of time. The inlet for the water is a 1/2 inch MPT. The outlet is also a 1/2 inch MPT. And the gas fitting, once again, 1/2 inch MPT. So what I've got to do is I've got to get me a fitting for the gas to go ahead and basically convert that 1/2 inch fitting down to that 3/8 of an inch compression style fitting that the gas line's got. So what does that mean? I'll show you the gas line that I've got and kind of show you what's typical for this type of application. Okay, what you're looking at here is the regulator assembly that I purchased for my propane, and this is a 2-stage regulator. This is the propane hose itself, and this is the fitting that I was talking about. So it's going to have to, whatever adapter I get is going to have to go from that 1/2 inch MPT over to this style of fitting, which is going to be a mail-in that matches up to this, and I believe it's a 3/8 inch. Should be a pretty easy ordeal. I could probably go to Lowe's, but more than likely I'm just going to hit Amazon tonight and see if I could have that thing sitting on my doorstep sometime tomorrow. So all in all, as far as the purchase goes, I feel like I didn't get hurt on the purchase price at all, especially compared to some of the other units that are out there. Up front anyway, as far as the way it looks and the quality that it seems to kind of present itself with, I like it, I do. But how did I get here? I mean, after all, why did we purchase this unit instead of some of the others? And that's a pretty interesting point, and I'll get there here in a second, but I will tell you this. I had budgeted for probably somewhere in the neighborhood of $500 to $600 for a hot water heater. And honestly, that's what I thought it was going to take in order to get one. And that's why I've put it off for so long. After all, I've had no shortages of other things to do on this camper, but now we've actually gotten to the point that we need it. So why this one? And first and foremost, I'll be honest with you, is price. It's always price. It's the value that you get for the money that you spend. This thing cost me about $349 on Amazon to go ahead and purchase it. Had I chosen, however, to go with a white one, it would have been $300 rather than $350. Once again, I'm a little bit miffed over it showing up in the gray color that you see here in front of you rather than the black that I thought I was getting. Maybe they consider this black. I don't. I think that's gray, but once again, once this is installed, I'm going to tape it up. I'm going to go ahead and scuff it down real quick and a little bit of Krylon, and I'll have the product that I ordered. Just be aware, if you go with this brand, you know, it is what it is. So the first reason obviously was price. The second reason, ironically enough, was that we could get this in black instead of just being able to get it in white. I've already expressed my feelings on that, so I'm going to leave it there, but that was one of the reasons that I decided to purchase this, was the option of color. Now another thing, and this isn't really all that important to us, we're in Oklahoma, folks, this isn't a big deal for us, but supposedly this thing operates even in high altitudes. And what does that mean? What that actually means is usually there's sensors within the unit that adjust the air to fuel ratio on this to where it blends the air to fuel a little bit differently if you're up in the mountains, and it keeps the unit operating efficiently. How high in the mountains can you go and still use it? I don't know. I just have to go ahead and either try it or do a little bit more research on it. Once again, it's a perk of the purchase, but it's not really something that matters to us. Now, the third option is just basically it had to fit the place that we were going to mount it at. And initially, where I was going to mount this was going to be on the passenger side of the camper, and I was going to remove a door off of the camper, cut a hole in that door, or better yet, I was going to replace that door with a piece of plywood and then a sheet of aluminum covering that plywood just to make it watertight. Then I was going to cut the hole in it, and that's where the heater was going to go. Now, at this point, things have changed. Matter of fact, I just built a propane cabinet for this. I spent quite a bit of time actually on the propane cabinet, so I feel a little foolish here. But one of my subscribers out there said, hey man, why did you do that? Why did you build that propane cabinet there instead of just using that little cubby right in front of it? Let me show you that cubby I'm talking about. So the gentleman that commented on my post is actually another guy who's got an ambulance camper conversion, and he is actually here in the Oklahoma City metro as well. What he's done is kind of outfitted his rig so he can basically travel around with his doggos and keep the pups cool. Very, very cool. Probably similar in nature to why we built ours, but a little bit different all at the same time. But the cubby he was talking about was this one right here. As you can see, when you open that, it's a perfect size in order to get ahead and put the propane tank in. However, this was where I was going to go ahead and put the hot water heater. So why didn't I just go ahead and put the propane in there to begin with? It is a sealed compartment, and all I got to do really is go ahead and drill a hole in the bottom of that compartment in order to go ahead and vent the compartment. Well, initially, like I said, I had it in my head. I had tunnel vision that right there was going to be where I put my hot water heater at. And so in my head, like I said, I really didn't even consider it because I just decided that's where I was going to put the heater. That being said, I went ahead and I built that. That is a propane locker, and I just built this here recently, and unfortunately, out of all that interior room right there, it hogs up a ton of it. When you take the front off of it, you can see it's quite attractive. It looks good, but it doesn't change the fact that it takes up a lot of room. And unfortunately, that was a drawback. So when he made that mention to me on the last video, where I shot the recording of building that box that you see there in front of you, he made the comment, and it got me to thinking, man, I wonder if there's like anywhere else on this rig that I can put that hot water heater. So it got me to wonder if there's like anywhere else on this build that I could put that hot water heater at that's not just going to kill the build, or for that matter, cause me to have to go back and redo a lot of work that I've already done. Well, there was. And I did find a spot. It is a spot I really never would have considered to begin with, and let me show you where that's at. But before I do, I'll just show you a quick side profile of both sides of this camper. If you look here, you can see between the small door and the big door, those take up a large area. This center section here below and above that window, unfortunately, that's pretty well useless because behind it, well, that's where the kitchen cabinet is, and up top, that's where the overhead kitchen cabinet is, so I can't really cut a hole anywhere there. Moving forward in front of that door, you see more cabinets, and then one, of course, is already built into an interior cabinet, and then bottom, well, that's where the batteries for the camper go. Not going to be able to delete that anytime soon, so pretty much this side of the rig is out of the question. But what about the passenger side? Okay, well, this cabinet right there, that's where all the water is. That's for the freshwater tank, the water pump, a lot of PEX lines running through there. Not going to fit it in there. Looking forward, unfortunately, that's where the bathroom is on the other side of that wall. That's not going to work either. And those cabinets there, if you open them, that's the back side of the shower. Not going to work. And of course, the electrical cabinet up there, you see where I'm going here. None of this is going to work. So where do we go? What do I have in mind? And there you have it. There is a cabinet right behind there, but that is the water cabinet, and I'll show you that here in just a second. The tape that I've got outlined here, guys, that's not a final cut location. I just slapped that up there to give you an idea of where the hole was going to be cut in order to put the hot water heater, and that's where it's going to go. It's going to be facing straight towards us at this view. That's the water fill, and the little one there is the city water connection. So right below that is where it's going to go. I hadn't thought about that until last night after that guy made the comment. Initially, I was like, man, why didn't I think of that? And then I remembered there was nowhere else to put it until I really started thinking, and here we go. So let me show you the back side of this. So this is a little bit of a mess right now, but you get the idea. Right there, you've got the water pump, you got the freshwater tank, the water fill, and then this is the city water. But right here is where I'm going to cut the hole. So I'm going to cut it here, I'm going to cut it there, approximately 6 inches up this way and about 6 inches, give or take, down below as well. Now, the brace is pretty substantial, but I've cut this before using a Sawzall, and that's what I'm going to use here at this point today. And that's in an upcoming video, but this, like I said, I just wanted to illustrate where that hot water heater was going to go. And the great thing about this is I get to use all that room there for storage. I know we've got the AC ductwork running right through it. However, as big as it is, it's still not that bad. It still leaves a ton of room both above it and below it. I get to recapture all that room, and then of course I'm going to go ahead and just store the propane bottle in there. I'm only running a single configuration, at least at this point. So one bottle's fine, and that cabinet works great. Not only does it fit the bottle, but there's going to be a lot of room around it for storage of little knick-knacky things as well. So folks, if you're interested to see how this turns out, keep an eye peeled for the next video. Matter of fact, go ahead, like and subscribe to the channel. Like I said at the first part of the video, if you've been checking out the videos as we've come along, thanks a ton, guys. It means a lot to me. I'm trying to get this little channel off the ground, and every single watch hour helps, and every single subscriber helps as well. Keep the comments coming. Matter of fact, I'd love to hear what you all have to say about this little unit. Was it worth 350 bucks? Man, I don't know. We're going to find that out. Like I said, I'm going to do the install video coming up here soon, and I really hope to see you guys there. Drop a comment. I'd love to hear what you have to say. Until then, though, happy adventures, and I'll see you next time.